Hello, welcome to GP Podcast. Today, we're diving into something pretty serious. A final warning, you could say, from one of the most talked about minds in technology, Elon Musk. And it's a message he thinks we really need to hear.
Yeah, Musk isn't one for subtlety, is he? He calls this coming change a supersonic tsunami. Think about that for a second. It's not just powerful, it's supersonic. He's not talking about a gentle tide of change. He's talking about an enormous, unstoppable wave moving faster than the speed of sound, and it's headed right for us.
So that's the big question, right? It's one thing to talk about the wave hitting, the chaos, the disruption. But what about after? What does the world look like when the water pulls back? That's really what we're going to explore here.
All right, let's get into it. Section 1, the silent replacement. And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie set in the distant future. Musk is saying the first ripples of this tsunami, they're already here. And they're hitting a place you might not expect, the office.
And he's incredibly specific about this. He says, any job that is just moving bits of information, that is the first thing AI will be able to replace. So he's not talking about construction or farming, not at first anyway. He's talking about us, people sitting at desks, using keyboards and mice. If your job is about managing digital information, well, you're on the front line.
Okay, so you might be thinking, if the tech is so good, why do I still have my job? And Musk has an answer for that. Corporate inertia. You know how big companies are? They're like giant ships. They take forever to turn. But he's warning us that this is just a temporary dam. Sooner or later, the companies that do adopt this stuff are going to get a huge advantage, and the pressure will build until that dam breaks. Then everyone else has to catch up or, well, get washed away.
So now we're at Section 2, the Supersonic Tsunami. This brings us back to that phrase. Why use such extreme language? Because Musk believes we need to feel this. It's not enough to just understand it on a spreadsheet. He wants the scale of this thing to hit you in the gut. It's a wake-up call, plain and simple.
So what's the engine behind this tsunami? It comes down to one big idea, demonetization. Sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. Imagine AI and robots start doing all the work. Suddenly, you're not paying for human labor anymore. The cost to make things or provide services plummets. All you're really paying for is the machine and the electricity to run it. When that happens, the price of, well, almost everything starts heading towards zero.
All right, Section 3, a world of abundance. This is where the story takes a fascinating turn. Because after the chaos and disruption of the wave, Musk sees something incredible on the other side. Not a world of scarcity and loss, but a world of, well, unimaginable abundance.
You've probably heard of universal basic income, right? UBI? The government gives everyone a check to get by. But Musk says that's thinking way too small. He's talking about universal high income, and the difference is huge. This isn't about shuffling money around. It's about a world where AI makes everything so incredibly cheap to produce that the whole idea of needing income to survive, it just kind of fades away. The result? He says, people can have what they want and the services they need. Just think about that, a world where you get what you need not because you can afford it, but just because you need it. It's a complete rewriting of how our society works.
Okay, so Section 4, countdown to superintelligence. If you're thinking this all sounds like something from a movie, 100 years from now, well, this is the part that might keep you up at night. Musk's timeline for this isn't in decades. We're talking years, potentially even months.
Just look at this. He thinks we'll have artificial general intelligence, or AGI. That's AI as smart as a human, by 2026. That's really soon. Then, just a few years later, by 2030, he predicts AI will be smarter than all of us combined. And get this, he says that's the pessimistic timeline. It could happen even faster.
So how is this even possible? How can it move so fast? The answer is exponential growth. He says we're seeing algorithmic improvements of something like 1,000% per year. The AI is literally teaching itself how to be better, over and over again, at a speed our human brains can't really wrap our heads around. And it's doing this on the hardware we already have. To put this in perspective, here's a wild prediction he made. He said, the best surgeon in the world will be a robot in 3 years. Just wow. And that robot surgeon won't just be in one fancy hospital. Its skills could be downloaded and available to anyone, anywhere on Earth. Okay, let's move to our final section. Section 5, our search for meaning. Because once the dust settles, once the economy is totally transformed, and we have machines that are smarter and more capable than us in every way, we're left with a really big question. A question about our very existence.
And here it is. If machines provide everything we could ever want or need, what is our purpose? What do we do? For all of human history, our meaning has been so tied up in our work, our contributions. In this new world of abundance, what's the new answer to that age-old question?
You know, this future is a lot to take in. It's kind of terrifying, but also incredibly exciting. A world with no poverty, no scarcity, but maybe also a world where humanity is obsolete. So, I want to turn it over to you. After hearing all this, where do you land? Are you an optimist or a pessimist about this future?
I'd love to hear what you think. Join the conversation in the comments below. Is this a future we should be excited about or worried about? If you liked the video, subscribe, leave a like, comment on what you liked most, and share the video. It really helps out. Thanks for joining me for this one.